Well, hello everyone and welcome to Pragmach. Today I'd like to talk about a new laptop from MSI. Well known for gaming laptops and gaming accessories, they're targeting a new segment again. Last time I talked about MSI, they were targeting the business crowd, and this time they're targeting the creator crowd. Some might say that MSI is being a little bit obvious, and the tell? It's the naming convention. The laptop is called the MSI Creator Z16, and as you can imagine, it has a 16-inch display. Some might argue that Apple has this part of the market a little bit cornered. For a long time, there's always been that idea that if you're creative, if you're a design-focused person, that you end up going with Apple and that you work within the Apple ecosystem. I don't think that's necessarily true, but MSI definitely does. And the first differentiating factor for this laptop is that 16-inch display. It's a clear breakaway from that 15-inch, 15.6-inch display size that is most often associated with gaming laptops. There is also another company that has a 16-inch laptop, and that is of course Apple with their MacBook Pro 16. And I'm going to reference this Apple laptop a few times in the video just to create a good frame of reference of what's out there. However, I think the ecosystem is the big barrier here, the big barrier to adoption. If you're an Apple person, I don't know if you're necessarily going to switch over to a laptop that has Windows. I think if you're working within the Apple ecosystem and you're using Mac OS, I think it's going to be a tough sell to get you over to Windows 10. And the same goes for the Windows 10 users. If you're already in a Windows 10 workflow, I don't know if I necessarily see anybody switching over to Apple's offerings. And I may be wrong, I may be ignoring the bootcamp crowd, I'm not sure. And MSI with the Creator Z16, it actually offers a lot of things that Apple can't. But let's get into that and a lot more right now. Starting from the design perspective, the Creator Z16 is very sleek, very thin, and it has a metal build. It has everything you'd expect from a premium laptop. And if you just saw the laptop closed with its CNC aluminum body, it could easily be mistaken for a MacBook Pro. If you ignored the logo, of course. It is also an exceptionally thin laptop. It is 15.9 millimeters thin. But when you compare that to the MacBook Pro 16, that is 16.2 millimeters thick. So that's a 3 millimeter win for the Creator Z16. And adding to the design and the aesthetics appeal, there is, like I mentioned, a per key RGB mini LED keyboard, which MSI is saying is a first for a laptop, which will give you a nice colorful keyboard if that's what you like, or you could tone it down with just all white. And for colors, there's only one, there is lunar gray. And moving on to the display, another touch that is going for the heart of the creator here. That 16-inch display is a QHD panel, meaning that it has a resolution of 2560 by 1600, giving it over 220 pixels per inch. It also has a very fluid refresh rate at 120 Hz. And another divergence from the gaming laptop and the focus to creators is the 16:10 ratio. The taller ratio gives the display about 11% more room than your typical 16:9 display. Color reproduction is always very important, and for that there is a P3 color gamut, and the display is also factory calibrated. And the Z16 also has a touch display, something that not all companies are able to provide, and something that might be particularly important for the creators. And yes, I'm calling out Apple for their lack of touch displays on Mac. Having a look at the internals, having a look at the workhorse of the device, it is powered by the latest in Intel's Tiger Lake H processors, and can come configured in either an Intel i7 or an Intel i9. Moving on to graphics, it is powered by an RTX 3060 with a total of 6 gigabytes of video RAM. And this is a good time to break and talk about the thermals for just a moment. Keeping a laptop this thin and this powerful cool is very important, and MSI has what they call cooler booster technology, which is there to ensure that there's optimal thermal dissipation in the laptop. Therefore, the Creator Z16 has a total of 3 fans, which are very tiny at 0.1 millimeter thickness, and that is to keep that Intel Tiger Lake H processor and that NVIDIA 3060 working well and working cool. So MSI has taken time to talk about their thermals, and it's saying that this laptop is ready to handle the kind of workload that creators are going to throw at it. When looking at memory, configurations are going to start at 32 gigabytes of RAM, plenty for most workloads and for most editing jobs. There are 2 slots of DDR4 memory, and it can be maxed out to a total of 64 gigabytes of RAM. For storage, there is plenty of storage capabilities here with 2 M.2 SSD slots. They are NVMe PCIe Gen 4 slots, meaning that creators won't have to worry about storage. They'll be able to to have large projects directly on the device without having to carry too many drives around with them. Moving on to ports, the Creator Z16 has plenty of them. There is one missing, however. But first, the good news. There is a USB 3.2 Type A and a USB-C Thunderbolt 4 port on either side of the laptop, meaning you get two USB Type A 3.2 ports and two USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports. There is also a micro SD card reader. Personally, I'm missing an HDMI port, and I know that this can be easily overcome with a dongle. However, I think because it is a Creator laptop, it would have been smart to have a dedicated HDMI port. Not a big deal though, just something I thought I would mention. Having a look at battery, the Creator Z16 has a 90 watt-hour battery. My thought is that it's actually a pretty large battery when you consider how thin the laptop is. For a frame of reference, that MacBook Pro 16-inch, it has a 100 watt-hour battery. So they're within range of each other, and it'll be interesting to see what real-world results look like. For connectivity, there is Wi-Fi 6E, the latest and greatest in Wi-Fi technology, and it has Bluetooth 5.2. There is a 720p webcam and 4 stereo speakers. And finally, to the big reveal, the pricing. The base model starts at $25.99, and that's going to get you that i7 processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM, the 3060, and a terabyte of SSD storage. Bumping it up $400 to $29.99, you'll get that Core i9 processor and 2 terabytes of SSD storage. I think MSI with the Creator Z16 has created a great middle-of-the-line laptop. It could easily be considered a capable creator laptop, or perhaps even a light gaming laptop. And I think with the 3060, it could fill both needs for many. It's not the most powerful of Nvidia's offering, but MSI is not looking at gamers here. What they're really targeting is someone that might need really high-end processing power and decent graphics for video editing. So you're able to outfit this laptop with a Core i9 without having to spend more money for, let's say, a 3070 or a 3080 GPU. And from a technical perspective, MSI is able to keep the laptop thin. And I think this is where it becomes clear that the Z16 is truly intended for creators. It has a lot of storage capability with the two M.2 slots. It's thin and sleek. So when I say middle of the line, what MSI has done is created a new segment that sits between their business laptops and their more dedicated and gaming focused laptops. And for most creators, that's where they're gonna sit. Thank you everyone, thank you for listening to my thoughts. Please let me know what you think about this laptop, and do you think there's gonna be a lot of success in this segment within the Windows space? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, as always, please do give it a like, and if you've been enjoying a few of these videos, consider subscribing to the channel. You might just like what's coming up next. As always, thank you from Pragmach.